any thoughts about how your coaching and helping people discover their multidimensional soul purpose, how that may or may not be impacting this larger
Mhm.
complex issue we're talking about?
Mhm. Ah, um, I think that we maybe have to shift into a quantum conversation.
I love you. Oh my God. Talk about multidimensional. Hell yes.
Because I think that on the level, on the three-dimensional level of like space and time and incremental changes and little pockets of things here and there and all the pieces of this like machinery of the toxic death-inducing culture.
Yeah.
To be really honest, personally, I don't think that we can make enough of those little piecemeal changes
Mhm.
to turn the whole thing around. I believe that the change is going to have to happen in another kind of way that is kind of more in a quantum realm
Mhm.
than in the 3D mechanistic way.
Mhm.
And I listen to various, channels and spiritual teachers.
Mhm.
I can't say that I really can grasp it enough to really speak about it. I feel like I'm just starting to kind of get a felt intuitive sense of what this shift is about, this paradigm shift. Of
Mhm.
course, as an astrologer, I do think that we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and that is
Oh.
what the paradigm shift is.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's a quantum shift.
Mhm.
I read a beautiful transmission just the other evening. It's funny, the woman who puts these out, she's so not ego oriented that I don't even know. I never remember what her name is
I love
because
it.
she does not put herself out front and center at all. And so I never, oh, it's Ellen something, Ellen Kaufman. And she puts out something called the Cosmic Times. And it is channeled from a council of ascended masters. I'm glad I asked you how woo-woo we could go before we
Yeah, full
before we went
permission.
on air.
I love it.
And what she's saying, or what the council is saying, and actually I've heard this from a lot of channeled information, is that we actually have already moved into the shift. It's no longer like a question, are we going to be able to make this quantum leap in the collective consciousness? That we really are. And that the part of it that moved me to tears, and I don't even know if I can put this into words because I haven't really expressed it out loud yet, is that she was talking about having compassion for all of it, like for every single aspect of 3D that we're talking about right now, all of the distortions that have been based in fear and domination and have been more death inducing than life enhancing,
Mhm.
to have compassion for the whole, all of it. And again, like not in pieces like, oh, well, I'm going to have compassion for this person who's over here, who's the CEO of, Dow Chemical, or I'm going to have compassion, but the whole damn fucking package. I don't know if
Yeah,
I can
swear
curse on
it,
your,
baby. Bring it. Yeah.
the whole catastrophe, the full catastrophe of it.
Mhm.
And as I was reading it, I felt my heart expanding like bigger than I've ever felt my heart before. It wasn't just like I was reading this and it was a concept of being more compassionate. I really felt like this just huge, vast compassion opening up that was so big enough to hold all of that stuff that I can rant and rave against.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's not to say that um, I'm going to be eating out of my Teflon, out of a Teflon,
Yeah.
pan, tonight, or just throwing my trash on the street, or throwing, uh, herbicides on the grass. No, I'm still going to, as much as I can, live in ways that I believe are life enhancing and
Yes.
honoring of Mother Earth and honoring and caring for all of humanity.
Mhm.
and have compassion for the full catastrophe.
Honey, thank you so much for bringing this piece in, because I feel like this is where, at least for myself, this is the strongest place of my embodiment right now, is how to actually hold that cosmology, that everything is unfolding just as it needs to. All of the violence, like you were talking about, people that kill each other. It's like holding that larger frame, that there is a larger unfolding, and trusting it all. It's the non-dualistic, basically the non-dual approach of just everything is just what it is. And it's so easy to get hung up on certain things. And of course it is, because there are certain things that are painful to see: animal abuse, sex trafficking. There are things that seem egregious. And so being in human form and having an emotional body and a limbic brain and everything that's responding to all that, while also being in spirit and having this larger sense that all is just kind of this grand experiment here. And it's just learning how to weave between those. And I think it's unique for all of us, but it's the compassion piece that you're bringing in, of how can we be compassionate towards ourselves when we're in a moment of railing against something that feels like such a big injustice, because action needs to be taken. And then that's more of the yang
Yes.
energy. It's like action needs. And then when are we in that quieter, reflective place of, I'm just going to bring love into the world right now, because there's really nothing else for me to do.